Back on the Sportsmax Zone to the big ball now. Champions Manchester City travelled to Selhurst Park to take on Crystal Palace in the English Premier League earlier on Monday. The match provided an opportunity for City to go 6 points clear of Liverpool in the race for the title. Let's watch those highlights now.
So off we go. Manchester City, who just had that little stumble. They lost at home to Spurs. They were held at Southampton. Here's Mahrez, who wants to get it onto that left foot, and he gets so many of his goals like that. For Stones, has a go. Decent effort too. He wants a corner. And Atkinson. And Stones with a delightful pass for Mahrez. Not easy to handle for Guaita, having fumbled the earlier one. Bounced just in front of him. Fair to Martin Atkinson, that wasn't too easy to spot with the naked eye. Here's Cancelo against the post, and a gaping goal for Aymeric Laporte, who could have been offside. Here's Grealish, Foden darting into the middle. Mahrez! Well, it's another moment of frustration. Where's the goal going to come from? It might come from Jack Grealish here.
Lovely run. Schlupp thinks he's got the ball, but Grealish is there. He fires it across, and look at that little touch from Bernardo Silva.
Schlupp trying to get there. Mahrez does get there. Former Leicester colleagues. Zaha blocked. Oh, Gallagher can nip in here. Conor Gallagher for Crystal Palace. Well, he wanted the win. Last ball into the box. Guaita gets it. Manchester City dropped 2 points at Selhurst Park. A twist to the tail at the top of the table, and Patrick Vieira's side have stopped City scoring home and away.
So 0 the final score there. So Manchester City's lead, not 6 as they would have anticipated, but 4 at the moment. Here are the results of the remaining matches over the weekend. Liverpool 2-0 over Brighton. Brentford at home winning 2-0 over Burnley. Manchester United got 3 goals from Cristiano Ronaldo in a 3-2 win over Tottenham. Chelsea with a top draw strike from Kai Havertz, 1-0 over Newcastle. Leeds 2-1 over Norwich. Wolves beat Everton 1-0. Aston Villa beaten at West Ham 2-1. Southampton losing at home 2-1 to Watford. And the ever-improving Arsenal, they were 2-0 winners over Leicester City. And the standings at the moment showing Manchester City, just as we said, 4 points in front of Liverpool. Liverpool with a game in hand, I might add. And Chelsea a further 7 points adrift in third. Arsenal further 8 points back in fourth. Manchester United on 50 points and West Ham 48 points out of the European Champions League spots at the moment. Watford, Burnley and Norwich City in the relegation spots at the moment. Crystal Palace and Leicester City, the 2 teams just outside the top 10. So much to tackle coming out of this weekend's EPL football. To help us do that, our Europe-based football correspondent, Simon Evans. Let's start, Simon, as we welcome you with what happened this afternoon and City's failure to move 6 points clear. How disappointing would that have been for Pep Guardiola?
I think very disappointing, yeah. I mean, they knew it was going to be a difficult game. Palace have been impressive this season. Patrick Vieira has done an exceptional job at turning them into a team that are very difficult to beat. But those are the kind of games you do have to win if you're going to win the title. And, yeah, it's 4 points, but Liverpool play Arsenal on Wednesday. And if they win that game, it's 1 point, with both teams having played 29 matches. So the title race getting really, really tight now. Yeah.
Good usual offensive performance by Manchester City, but not clinical in the final third, and that was their downfall.
It was, and you know, there were a lot of balls went across the face of the box, which is a trademark City approach to get really to the byline and then whip balls across. And you know, there was a great chance for Bernardo Silva in particular in the second half where the touch just went wide. There was a header from Laporte inside the box, which you would have expected him to find the target. He hit the defender. So there were a lot of opportunities, and City can count themselves a bit unlucky. But it is one of those games that makes you wonder about the whole playing without a natural centre forward. You know, Guardiola's talked about how next year he would like to have one. And you can see in this game why maybe a number 9 would have just put one of those away.
Well, you know, off camera, I was telling Lance that We should save the date April 10, especially because Manchester City will be up against Liverpool, and I feel like this is the match that will make or break who wins the Premier League title. What say you?
Yeah, it's getting that feeling around it now that it's almost like the Premier League decider, isn't it? And of course, there are a lot more games to be played than that. And as we saw today, that, you know, City can slip up, Liverpool could slip up in a game like that as well. So it's not really down to that 90 minutes, but it's going to have a huge influence on it. And I think psychologically as well, you know, whoever comes out of that one on top is going to really feel like they've got the title within their reach.
Yeah, definitely. Well, also on the weekend, we had Manchester United up against Tottenham. Okay, we're going to start with Liverpool first because we want to continue in a particular order. So let's talk about Liverpool and their win. You know, unfortunate that Mo Salah was injured. What did you make of Liverpool's performance on the weekend?
Yeah, I don't think they were at their brilliant best, but they did what City didn't do today, and they went and from a tricky fixture and got the 3 points. And I think, you know, they're just playing in a much more controlled way this season. We've seen it more and more where in the past Liverpool could get involved in ding-dong games against teams like Brighton, where they might come out and win 4-3, or they might end up losing 3-2 and so on, and it was great entertainment. It's not quite like that now. Liverpool are a lot more organised, they're a lot more patient, and there's a lot more about them. They're a more varied team, and it's an impressive run of form they're on at the moment. It really is. And, you know, with City wobbling a little bit, you feel like the momentum has shifted across to Merseyside.
Yeah, we want to leave the Liverpool game now, Simon, but any update on Mo Salah's injury?
Not that I'm aware of today, no.
Okay, Cristiano Ronaldo went 4 or 5 games without a goal, and he hit three on the weekend. Makes him now the all-time leading scorer in professional football. This man has so much fire and desire to make landmarks. I guess at 37 years old, he's still showing it.
Yeah, absolutely. And fire is a really good word for the way he approached this game. I think, you know, there have been a lot of stories in the newspapers in the build-up to this match about the relationship between Ronaldo and his coach, the interim manager at United, Ralph Rangnick, and about the disputes about whether or not he was really injured for the Manchester derby, or was he left out, did he storm off and go back to Portugal? A lot of things we've never had a clear answers from, although a lot of us suspect we know what might have happened. But he came out with a real determination and scored an absolute screamer to start things off, and then gets the header to win it as well, a hat-trick. But each time he scored, there was just a little bit of aggression in his celebrations that suggested he was proving a point, maybe to his manager, but maybe also to some of those other people who spent so much time in their punditry wondering whether Ronaldo is a problem for Manchester United. Paul Pogba said afterwards, he's never a problem.
Yeah, Simon, Arsenal continuing to improve under Arteta's guidance. 6 games unbeaten now, 5 wins in a row, and now moving into a top 4 spot. The Arsenal fans are happy, aren't they?
They are, and the Arsenal players are happy. That's what's so refreshing about this Arsenal team is they're playing with a smile on their face. They're a young side who at the start of the season looked to be afraid about pulling on that red and white shirt, and now they've got smiles on their face and they're enjoying it. And they're playing some good football as well. It's a familiar style, really. You can start to see Arteta's time with Pep Guardiola paying off a little bit now, and things are coming together. So the patience around Mikel Arteta has paid off.
Definitely paid off. Now in the Chelsea match, Kai Havertz being the difference maker between Chelsea and Newcastle. What did you make of his performance? And the big question, should it have been a red card?
I thought he was, you know, those red cards, you can argue them either way. That I always find them very difficult ones to call because, you know, you go up with the arm and is there intent there? Does the intent matter? There's so many things you could argue about that. I think not. I think not, to be honest. I'd come down on the side of not. But the goal, the control before that finish was absolutely sublime from Havertz. He's really, really developing into a top player. It wasn't a vintage performance from Chelsea. Of course, with everything that's been going on at that club over the last week, they can sort of be forgiven, I think, for a little bit of being distracted or maybe not at their best, but they got it done in the end, and it was a wonderful finish from Havertz.
Yeah, you know what, Simon, I don't think we can emphasize just how impressive that goal was. I think part of the issue there is because he made it look so simple, I don't think many people recognize the deft touch and the high quality goal that was. That's one of the best goals I've seen in football for a long time.
I mean, he just kills the ball on his foot, doesn't he? It's an extraordinary piece of control. Extremely difficult to do if you're doing it on your own, doing a skills test. To do it running at full speed in the penalty area with a goalkeeper in front of you and a defender on your back is unbelievable. You're absolutely right. It's one of the goals of the season, I think, because just look at it. It's unbelievable.
You know, Simon, I would have thought that the ball coming from that trajectory, it would have been a safer approach for him to take it on his right foot and then kick whichever foot with whichever foot he wanted. But to receive that ball on the left foot was a much harder skill or a much harder decision than if he had taken it on the right.
Yeah, it was. And players sometimes in those moments where they just have that half a second to decide, they go with what they trust the most, don't they? You know, and so the left foot, he felt he could take it on. But we see lesser players that they make the wrong decisions there. But absolutely wonderful finish.
Simon, always great talking to you on the Sports Max Zone. I don't think, I know you know about our Sports Max class moment on Fridays. I'm waiting to see if there's any moment that could top Havertz's goal. But we have 5 days to go.
A lot of sport to come, we'll see. But yeah, it was a class moment for sure.
Yeah, okay. Simon Evans there. Great talking to Simon. As usual, we go to break. We have a lot of football left to come on the Sports Max Zone, including La Liga. Real Madrid were in action today, and we'll be back with more after this.